Okay. Good afternoon. It is my pleasure as your president to welcome you to our annual meeting. Thank you for taking the time to be here. This meeting is put on by the board of directors every March, and it's the primary venue through which we can share how we're doing, what we're doing, and where we're headed in the strategic plan. We have a lot to cover, but before we get started, I want to introduce to you a few people. So I would like everyone that's on the Board of Representatives to please stand and face the audience.
Jenny.
Okay.
Jenny,
So wait.
you may want to navigate to the page that shows everybody.
Wait a second. Keep standing.
Jenny?
Yes.
Use the pointer and navigate to the page that shows all the board members.
Oh, this, okay. Okay, all right. Well, this isn't all of them. We have more on the next page. Okay, wait a minute, stand up.
There's actually 2 pages.
This is Candy Walsh. For those of you who don't know, she is one of the founders of Tierra Village, and she has the privilege of attending the board meeting whenever she wants for the rest of her life. So, as the founder. Ken Ross, past president. Bradlyn Mulvey, vice president. Mark Lasky's in the back. He's wearing 2 hats. He's our treasurer along with Rhoda. Rhoda is just finished successfully some surgery, so is not with us today. Mark is treasurer. He's also in charge of technology, and he's responsible for this program, this slideshow. And then our 2 members at large are Lori Brown. Lori Brown, yay.
Someday
And
I hope to be at the adult
Ginny
table.
Batterson. And I also want to introduce Marilyn Benting. Most of you know her. Stand up, Marilyn. She's going to help. She's a past president, and she's going to be one of the speakers. And then Gunnar Shallon is our secretary, and he is going to be here, but he emailed me. He's going to be a little bit late, so he's not here yet, but he is also on the board. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Got everybody here. Oh, and our 2. Oh, okay. Leslie could not be here today, our administrative front desk person, but Cassandra's here, so stand up, wave, wave here. Yeah. And when Cassandra speaks, she's going to tell you a little bit more about what she and Leslie are doing in the office. Those of us that have witnessed them at work see that they're smiling and they're working hard. So that's 2 things that are both good. All going well. So go to the agenda, just share with you a little bit about what we're doing.
Jenny, we blew by the agenda. I'm going to get back to it. There you go.
Pardon me?
The agenda was the second slide. And
Okay.
so we kind of blew by it, but now we're back to it.
Okay. After our speakers. We have, I will share with you what the speakers will be covering. And then after the speakers, we're going to have a question and answer period if you have any questions. So throughout the business meeting, if you have a question, write it down and we'll take care of it at the end. And then we have some entertainment from our village vocals. And then we're going to conclude the meeting. And we have a light dinner being delivered by Elijah's at 4:30. So we'll be setting up a buffet. And one note, Patty and Georgia are at the table over there and would like to know if you're able to come to the St. Patrick's potluck. If you're able to come, please stop by and let them know what you'd like to bring. We're a little concerned because there's not very many people signed up. So if you want to go, please stop by that table. Okay. St. Patrick's Day, 17th of March. Okay, on with the meeting. I'm going to share with you. There we go. In updating our strategic plan, we took 2 things into consideration. We thought about what we know about the members' needs and interests. And then we also thought about the 5 key indicators of successful villages. These 5 indicators of successful villages were brought to our attention when a few of us attended the California Village Movement Conference in Sacramento. So each of the speakers tonight are going to be covering one of these successful strategies and showing you how it correlates with our objectives and goals on the strategic plan. So hopefully you'll see that we are fulfilling our governing duties and focusing on our mission and the sustainability of our village. So I'm going to first call up Ken, who's going to be, these are all the successful strategies. So he's going to cover diversified sustainable funding. Okay, there you go.
I haven't even started, we're laughing already. I've been on the board for a few years now. I've been a member at large, a vice president, a president, and now I have my favorite title, past president. So we are going to try to keep this to a couple of hours, so I'll move along. We're going to, if I got there, yeah. I'm going to offer some insights that most of the successful villages we know, especially in California, move into the future. They will be diversified and they will have sustainable funding plans. And that's not an exception for our village. We're focused very heavily on that. And this is one of our strategic goals, is we want to continue to secure more funding and income sources to meet the needs of our membership. How will we support our 2026 budget? We're going to do this in a variety of different ways, more than we can list here today. But as we look at the budget, our membership dues account for the number one source, $44,500, which is about 30% of our income goal. That grows as we grow. And these numbers may not be exactly the same as what you see later in our actual budgeting stuff because of some timing differences, but these are pretty close. Our investment earnings contribute to our ongoing expenses each year, roughly at $28,000 this coming year at 19% of the total. That's spending roughly half of what we earn each year. So we're not really drawing down the principal. We're using it to help us with our ongoing expenses. We've gotten really quite good at seeking out and succeeding in getting some grant funding, and that's now in our number 3 slot at $27,000, which is 18% of our total. We are focusing on that and hope to increase that number over time. It helps doing things like pay for our instructors for our exercise classes, as an example. Our year-end appeal, we've budgeted $15,000 for that this year, which represents 10%. This past year, due to a couple of very significant, generous donors, we actually, you will see, enjoyed a much larger number than that. So it's a conservative figure. It's less than we've gotten the last 3 years. Looking a little longer term goals, we're going to continue to work the grants, as I mentioned, I believe, search for and apply for more. We're going to maintain and increase the number of our supporting partners. This has been a very substantial program for us in terms of raising funds, but I look at it as equally, if not more important than the funds, is the relationships that we're developing between our organization and these senior citizen service providers, and making you aware of what's out there and what's available, and maybe getting some special attention with these folks because you are a member of our organization. Very, very important. We're going to continue to encourage all of you to participate in more of the fundraising programs, whether it be the luncheons or the Raise Right program. But all of these efforts that we undertake have the goal of trying to minimize the size of our membership dues and keep any increases that we have to do over time to a minimum. The results, if we succeed, and as we have succeeded, shown by looking at our daily exercise classes, not having to charge for those. We had 1 year where we fell behind and did initiate, so we were pleased to be able to get away from that program after only 1 year. We have always been able to subsidize the holiday party. We always try to have something special at the end of the year, and it is quite expensive in total, usually $60 to $70. But we allocate some of our dollars that we have to offset that to keep the costs to the members more reasonable. We were able to hire our administrative assistant, which we felt was extremely important for us designing and implementing our service plan that we have in the works. She's going to be very helpful in that initiative. And we're able to provide a long list of various ways of supporting you folks. And if you stay informed and look at our events page, you know that this is a very active organization offering many opportunities for all of you. And one of the key things here, I think, in our success of raising funds has been our ability to rent ADA compliant facilities and be able to run more and more of our programming in those kind of facilities. And it certainly is our goal to continue that as well. I think that's the end of me. I'm going to listen to the rest of the meeting and think about that title, Past.
Hello. I'm the membership chairperson and also the volunteer chairperson. Used to be two separate committees or teams back 2 years ago. We called them teams. But when they did a consolidation, volunteers went under membership. So that's why I'm wearing two hats today. So I'll be reporting on both the membership and volunteers. Before I begin, I want to thank Mark immensely for putting together this slideshow.
Does that mean I can move to the front of the room someday?
I gave him a Word document with bullet points of what I wanted to cover today. And lo and behold, he has created this beautiful slideshow for each of us presenting. And at the end, you're going to see a beautiful slideshow of photos from our events of the past year or two. So Mark, thank you so very much. I'm not a techie person and I couldn't have created this PowerPoint on my own. I think I have to
Yeah, speaking of techie person.
go to the next slide.
There you go.
Our village supports the California Village movement by offering a strong volunteer engagement. We have over 70% of our members volunteer in some way, whether it's being on a committee, on the board of directors, setting up for a program like today, all these beautiful tables set, flowers, everything. That's all volunteers. Even we have volunteers who just, the only thing they really can do is make phone calls, bake cookies, or drive members to activities and events. And for that, we are immensely grateful for any time anyone gives to help our village with its volunteer efforts. Also, our committee, membership and volunteers, supports the strategic plan of the village by optimizing the new member and volunteer experience. And that's what I'm going to show you next. Oh, I just changed it. Maybe Mark changed it for me. Or maybe it knew to change. I don't. Our membership total is now 148 members. We have 27 new members since last January. Membership is now offered to those outside of 2124 area code, or zip code. I'm sorry, it's a zip code. And we actually have 2 members who are outside that zip code. So in order to be a member outside the zip code, you must be sponsored by someone who is an active member of our village. So we're very glad to have Suk, who comes to a lot of our exercise classes and to our neighborhood group meetings, and Anne Marie, who has just recently volunteered to join my committee. So I'm excited about that. I need my glasses. In creating new volunteers, the first step is actually to recruit new members. And Cassandra basically does that for us. She has us on social media, Facebook and neighborhood and other social medias where other people in Terrasana can find out about our village. She has created our resource fair, and last year we gained quite a few members from those in the neighborhood who attended the resource fair. Word of mouth, we recruit through word of mouth and friends and neighbors finding out about our village. Once someone has called Cassandra, and they'll be calling Leslie as well in the future to find out more about the village, we have created a prospective member happy hour. And these people that are interested in the village come to the happy hour. They're held usually about every other month when we have a small group of interested people coming to the happy hour. At the happy hour, we talk about the history of the village, how we're associated with the National Village Movement, the California Village Movement. We talk about our committees, how our village is organized, and about volunteer opportunities. We ask them if they'd like to spend a month with us so that they get to know the members, get to know what we're about. Most of them come to our activities such as exercise and some of the social events. Then we do follow-up contacts. I just recruited 11 new members for my committee, and some of them have said what they'd like to do is call these prospective members and invite them to make sure that they're coming to activities and make sure when they're ready to join the village. Then we do a welcome to our village. So they receive a formal letter from Cassandra. I think it comes through email. And then I write a personal card to each new member, thanking them for joining and hoping that they will both benefit and enjoy their membership. Then we do a small group orientation. I contact each new member after they've been a member for a month or two and ask if they'd like to meet individually and find out more about the village, if they have questions, concerns, suggestions. And I have about 5 new members who have joined in the last couple months, and I'll be following up with that real soon. Also, Carmela, is she here? Carmela comes to those new member orientation meetings with me to talk about the time bank and how you can volunteer through that website and through that organization. Then we have our ongoing welcome events, such as the new member brunch. We get the new members together and talk to them about any questions they might have, any suggestions. They share the activities they've been involved with and how they might be able to volunteer and help us out. And that's coming up March 10th. So those of you that are new members, I've sent out emails inviting you all and hope you will attend. So far, we have 6 who have RSVP. So that's good. So for membership, our goal for this year is to develop a welcome and orientation page on the website. And I'm not real techie, so I'm depending on Cassandra and Mark to create that. Also, another goal is to expand the membership volunteer committee. And as I said, I sent out an email letter to the whole village. And from that, from 148 members, I received 11 positive responses. So I'm really thankful that we've already met that goal. Now, volunteer engagement. We have, as I said before, many volunteers, many members have stepped up to volunteer and help within our village, as well as outside our village. So I'll go through and explain. We encourage volunteerism. Right now, we have a need for vetted drivers. We have several members of our village who are no longer driving or who just feel like they aren't ready to take off and go, like to Fashion Valley when we have a SNAP meeting, or to drive to the Wild Animal Park on their own. So we have carpools, but we need more vetted drivers to help fill those carpools. So if you are a driver who feels confident and willing to take a few members to activities, please sign up with Cassandra or Leslie and become a vetted driver. That's a need we really have. Also, we are planning an annual volunteer appreciation event, and that's going to be in April, and it's a little surprise this year. In the past, we've done brunches and lunches, things of that nature, but Cassandra and Leslie have come up with a new idea. We're not ready to share it yet, but just keep April 28th in mind. Also, we have a commitment of volunteerism to help outside our village. We have the students at UCSD offer us tech help about 3 times a year, and that has been very successful. We have 3 or 4 of the students who come and meet with maybe 6 to 12 of our villagers, one-on-one help with your watches, with your iPhones, with tablets, computers. And that's been very successful. We also have the Canyon Hills ROTC who have offered help in the past. And we have many other organizations that step up and help us. We also have community outreach within our village. So we're not only helping our villagers, but we're reaching out and helping others outside our village. For example, Jewish Family Services. We have volunteers from our village that have worked in their kitchen, putting together meals. We have them working in the marketplace. We've raised money for them. We have, they have the homeless shelters at JFS, and we have supported the teenagers with backpacks. We've supported the new babies with diaper bags filled with all kind of baby supplies. And we've had many of our villages step up and help with that. Not only physically putting together the backpacks and the diaper bags, but actually giving us money, donating money to JFS to help fill those bags. We've helped Elder Help through their holiday program by donating holiday cards and gift cards. We help with Honor Flight to honor our veterans. And we have our church. This church has a food bank, and we help supply and donate non-perishable items to this church for their food bank. So our major goal this year with volunteers is to seek trustworthy non-member volunteers. So we're going to have our member services plan in place where we will get outside help. And so Cassandra and Leslie are working on that along with the board, and we'll have our member services plan going into action hopefully sometime this year, but we will be seeking outside volunteers as well. So that's it for membership and volunteers. And I think next is the care committee. Bradlin.
Thank you, Marilyn. Be careful. I was asked to speak about how we deliver information to people so that they can age in place and make good decisions for themselves. I kind of modified this a little bit. Oh, I don't need that one. What am I doing in the swimming pool?
Hey, Bradley, by the way, does anybody
Why did you
recognize
put me in
that
the
photo,
swimming
that
pool?
picture? Does anybody know where that's from?
I don't know. I don't understand. Anyway, I kind of modified. What? You going to tell me why I'm in the swimming pool?
That's from the movie Cocoon.
Oh, something we can do. But we don't have a pool. I see. Okay, that was a far stretch, but okay. Anyway, I kind of modified this a little bit because, you know, I'm kind of hard to stay with structure. Oh, by the way, thank you for making, look at all of us who brought our name tags. So those of you who don't know our names can finally look at a name tag and say, hi, Bradlin, you know, so I appreciate all of you. And by the way, all of you came on time. I noticed that we didn't have to wait and wait and wait and wait. And so I appreciate that fact also. Anyway, I've kind of modified this by 4 pillars. The first pillar is safety first. I got to tell you, we have worked very hard on getting credible sponsors, and Cassandra has done a job. The board has done a significant job also with trying to bring us reputable, knowledgeable, not exorbitantly expensive resources so that we can utilize these sponsors to take care of some of our needs. Now, I was supposed to deal with only the sponsors, but really, you guys don't really realize how lucky you are. I hear it all of the time. Gosh, I'd love to belong to the village because you have so many things to do and you have so many friends and you spend your whole day involved with wonderful people. And so the sponsors that we've got are not fly by night. She does a lot of background checks. She tries very hard to find resources that we need. For example, the first pillar, safety first. A number of our sponsors have helped us to maintain our homes so that they are safe. Harmony Medical provides simple home modifications to help us prevent big setbacks, such as falls. And a number of you have fallen in your homes, and you should put a shower bar by your showers. You should put where you have stairs, there should be a rail there. I have been so impressed with, as I go to Bunko now, I'm hoping to keep this short, so I have to watch my diversions. But when I've gone to Bunko lately, there have been, you know, our houses weren't designed with single levels. They're down, they're up, and they're really traps for us to fall. And it has been so good that people have adjusted their homes. Now there are staircases, where there's stairs, there are rails. And so I am so happy to see that. So grab bars in bathrooms, walk-in showers, improved lighting, railing on stairs. If we plan ahead and we do some of these things, we stay in control instead of reacting in a crisis, which I got to tell you, as a care committee member, we're reacting a lot of falls crisis situations because people didn't do their homework. They didn't take the preventative steps they needed. Jonathan Swartz, who has gotten to be more and more active in our community, developed a program called Partners in Aging. And if you live by yourself and you don't have people around you, if you have to go to the hospital, it is really important for you to have an advocate. And he saw a need for that, and he developed a program for that. So you might look into that. He also provides caregiving in case, as well as synergy, because as we age, I've already gone through this, but many of you haven't, and you get very tired of taking care of your partner or your significant other. And it is really helpful and the safety of you and your partner to have somebody there when you need them. And that's a caregiver. So synergy, and we've had a number of good ones. Ben has been a good one, but these are sponsors. So we have also done a lot to try to get you and me, which I don't do very well, declutter your house so you don't trip over things and break your neck. I'm just really bad at that. But if you walk in my house, it looks fine. But if you open a cupboard, oh my God. So I try to give you opportunities so that you do the things you need to do. And I'll get with that a little further. I probably should have moved on this. Oh, no, I haven't. Okay. The second pillar is staying strong and steady. Did you know that 60% of your body loses muscle as you age after 60? But it is reversible if you do what you're supposed to do, and that is the horrible word, exercise. However, we do offer many, many, many opportunities to give you the power to develop strength and flexibility. Chair yoga classes, balance stretching, strengthening classes, Tai Chi, walking group. They're all designed to keep you from falling and preventing. I can't tell you how many broken bones have been because of falls, depriving you of your independence and keeping you strong. So please, those are important things. The third pillar is staying connected. Oh, this one is really what we're all about, helping each other age in place. Isolation is as harmful as smoking, and community is protective of that. TVSD, I sat down today just because I wanted to know. Everybody says, oh my gosh, the calendar is getting so busy. Do you know how many events are in next month? Single events. There are 80, 80, just for the month of March. And the calendar is a busy one. And it's intended to be busy to keep you busy, alive, challenging, getting stronger and more flexible. So it is and that's why people keep saying, I want to belong to Terrasana Village too, because look at all the things we have to do. So staying connected. The TVS calendar tries to cater to everybody's interest by providing various events and field trips, such as Cassandra started the Eating Well group. And there's a new meal thing. What's it called? The food pyramid. It's changed. So if you don't know what that's about, you should probably go to the thing that's coming up because you need to learn it. It's made us sick. The other one made us sick. This one should help us to be healthy. The dog pack, Puzzle Mania. And this is not just, I just kind of randomly took things. Don't look at it as I'm prejudiced against certain things, but golf outings. I have been so impressed to see the men are finally getting a program. They have a lot of things now. For example, They have Java and Jive. They have Romeo. They have golf. I mean, come on now. And then there's Snap. Concerts in the park in the summertime. We all meet. We have dinner together. We listen to various and sundry music groups. But anyway, and the casual conversation group, which we get a stimulus out there. And you know us, you bring TVSD people together and we just like to talk. And so we enjoy the conversation group. And I don't know if you all remember, but we went on a trolley at Christmas time. We went and saw the lights in San Diego. We went through, I can't remember now what that's called, but we went and saw Hamilton in Costa Mesa. All of us, and during the rain, it was raining, but it was a good production. And the fourth pillar. Now, all of these together form such a powerful group of things. Whoops, I'm sorry. Whoops, I'm on 4. Purpose fuels resilience. People who live with purpose keep learning. They share skills and they help each other. To that end, the village provides multiple ways to fuel resilience. The yearly Terra Santa Resource Fair, which has changed titles now, brings information, resources together. A whole bunch of people come together and give us a whole bunch of new information that we didn't know that will help us to age better in our homes. So various, okay. The Wedeking Law Group and the Edwards Jones groups, they help us, I do a group called This Is Your Life. And I really kind of look at it as there should be prerequisites. You should see a lawyer and do your estate planning and your advance directives, because This Is Your Life is really intended to be, that's done. Now we're going to take all your passwords and we're going to take all of the things, all the insurance policies and the deeds and everything, and get that all organized so that when you pass, your people who take over your estate will be able to do that in an easy, non-chaotic way. And I experienced that when my mother-in-law died. Art's mother was meticulous. She had a notebook. She was an art investor. So all of her art, on the back of her art, was the place she bought it, how much she spent, and where that thing was supposed to be. So we literally just went through like a recipe, check, 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 check. And that was so nice. And when my mother died, it was not like that, to say the very least. And so this helps you to settle your affairs so that your survivors have an easy time with it, because it's already bad. Nobody wants their mother or father to die, so, or their significant other. So if you can get their last thing done, it would be nice. So in conclusion, the village provides a number of strategies that help us live our best lives at home. These strategies include providing what you need: safety, strength, social connection, and purpose. And I hope you will all realize you're already living this already and enjoy it, because you're privileged. This is a privilege to belong here. And that's all I have to say. And I think it's now Cassandra. Marilyn is talking. I hate these things. No, come.
Well,
I won't.
okay, no falling. No falling. All right. So successful villages have leaders that are prepared for succession and growth. So one of the goals on our strategic plan is to update the board and the leadership procedures. California mandates that all nonprofit organizations establish a set of bylaws as sort of the fundamental part of our formation process. They serve as the backbone of our village and the board of directors structure and operations. We've just updated our 2010 bylaws. We deleted, consolidated, simplified, and clarified certain sections. And now the new set of bylaws can be found on our website. Another goal is to revise board expectations, not only for the board members as they enter the board, but also for the board members and for the members. We want you all to know what the board is expected to do and what you might be expected to do if you were ever interested in the board. I would also especially like to, we set a goal for some introductory training for members that are on the board, so that when they come into the board, they become familiar with the important documents, such as our articles of incorporation, our bylaws, our strategic plan, and our budget. Those are all things that we have to know a little bit about. So I think it would be helpful to provide a training for new board members on that. We have been and want to continue providing informational meetings for our members so that you are aware of what the leadership needs are in our village. We have lots of roles and positions on not only the board, but also on committees, subcommittees, interest groups, and we want you to be aware of what those leadership needs are. So we want to continue with those meetings. All right. Obviously, leaders prepared for succession and growth involve preparing our committees for succession and growth. With these committees, social care and wellness, membership volunteer, time bank, neighborhood groups, technology, fund development, community outreach, all these areas can use people that help. And if we want to be prepared for succession and growth, we need to build up these committees and make sure that every leader has a person that backs them up or a group of people that back them up, so that if anything were to happen to them, they would have a complete understanding of what is going on in their committee. So I want to thank all of the leaders and the co-leaders and the team members for offering your leadership. And we really want to make it a goal to make sure that we've got a good start on making sure that the committees are building, but we want to continue building with all of them. Okay. There we go. So this is our hopeful outcomes. Building the committees leads to volunteer opportunities, which then leads to more members who realize that they belong, they matter, and they are needed. We all want members to learn more about the board procedures and actions through increased communication on what is happening. We want members to have a better understanding of the leadership opportunities on the board and in the committees. I met with the neighborhood captains the other day, last week, and told them that I would be happy to come to the neighborhood groups and actually talk to them about what's happening on the board, answer questions about the strategic plan. I haven't mentioned it to the board members. I'm sure they'd be willing to help with this too. It would just be, it's nice in small groups, like neighborhood groups. It's a great way to disseminate the information. And I think this is what I'm thinking. If we build the committees, that leads to more volunteer opportunities. If we increase our communication about what's going on the board and what leadership opportunities are, then leadership positions become more of an opportunity than a threat. That's our hope. Period. Okay, that's it. Short and sweet.
That was wonderful. I think I'll do the same.
Okay.
Right. All right. Well. After a few years of research and interviews and surveys and talking and more talking, I am thrilled to tell you that our top goal of 2026 is to design and implement a volunteer provided services plan. So how are we going to accomplish this goal? First thing we did was increase staffing. As you know, we hired part-time front desk administrative coordinator, Leslie Fogg. She couldn't be here today, but she is fantastic to work with. We're very lucky to have her. She is at the clubhouse now Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8:30 to 11:30. She's also working off-site Tuesday and Thursday, 8:30 to 11:30. So members can contact the village phone or the village email, 8:30 to 11:30, Monday through Friday, and Leslie will be your point of contact. We also expanded my business manager role to 30 hours a week. And this will allow me to help strengthen operations, increase strategic planning, and work with on the volunteer program development. As far as how duties are split up, I want to just share that a little bit. So the administrative coordinator will be the primary point of contact for most members. She will handle all those routine procedures like member renewals, event registrations, event payments, donations, and referrals to committees or volunteer leaders. So if you're not sure who in the village you need to talk to, the front desk is still a great place to start. So please continue to reach out. Behind the scenes, Leslie will manage monthly reports, secure rental space like we are enjoying today, oversee daily clubhouse needs, and maintain our database. She will now be the main point of contact for everything event calendar related. So if you're a host and you are submitting a event submission form, Leslie is the person to contact at the regular village email. If you're a neighborhood group leader or a committee leader and you need to schedule an event, please continue to reach out to the village front desk, and Leslie will be happy to help you with those things. Leslie is also going to provide critical input into our volunteer provided services program, because she will ultimately be the one who is going to screen and process volunteer applications, maintain accurate volunteer data, support volunteer orientation and training. And after the program launches, she will be the main point of contact for scheduling and matching volunteers to fulfill those requests for rides to events, grocery and prescription delivery, and technology support, all using volunteer software. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, so a little bit more about how the business manager role will expand now that we have more administrative support. I will now be able to focus much more on sustainability and long-term growth. This includes streamlining and modernizing procedures, managing organizational risk and security, strengthening partnerships with the VM HOA, the housing association that we rent the clubhouse space from, local churches, the rec center, exercise instructors, and the village movement organizations, both state and national. I will also have more time to work with local government officials. This is very important to raise awareness about the village movement in general and all of the village activities in the San Diego area. Ultimately, this will help bring more support to older adults in Tirisana. I will also continue to identify growth opportunities and manage all aspects of grant funding. As Marilyn mentioned, I will continue to be first point of contact for prospective members, help them get acquainted and make sure they get to that info happy hour. I will manage all marketing initiatives and continue to raise awareness about the village in the Tirisana community. I will write the newsletter monthly. If you are going to submit something, if you need to submit something for the vibes, please send that to me third week of the month for the following edition. I will also be mailing out all surveys. If you're a community committee leader and you have a survey that wants to go out, or you have a member update, someone's getting out of the hospital or there's someone in need, please send that to me and I will forward that out on your behalf. And I will continue to develop and grow and oversee the supporting partner program. and all those related educational opportunities. Main goal, though, is to bring together and oversee this volunteer provided services program. So when will this program start? Okay. All right, so first, a little bit of background on item 1. We currently have a program, a software program called Club Express. It was designed as a platform for membership organizations. So an example would be an antique car club that you are part of, and you travel around and show off your cars. That's probably a good example. The Village Movement approached Club Express and asked them to modify that software to help meet the needs of the growing Village community. So it has served us well. However, a gentleman who has always been heavily involved in the Village Movement, he wrote his own software, brand new software, specifically for villages. So it's very much in line with the needs of villages today. If I remember correctly, about 50% of all villages are using that Helpful Village software. And it is incredibly user-friendly. That is the good news. So the vote came through the board on Thursday unanimously that we will be switching to Helpful Village software. The ability to manage those service requests will be much, much easier and efficient with the new software. So keep an eye out for that. We'll continue to keep you updated. As we get into the second part of the year, we'll be focusing on best practices and how to minimize liability. This will be interviewing other villages, lawyers, insurance companies, anyone necessary to make sure that we are designing this program properly. By the end of the year, we will have developed member and volunteer handbooks, create a volunteer vetting procedure, developed a volunteer orientation and training procedure. And then come Q1 of 2027, we will be prepared to launch our program. So January of next year. So as you can imagine, there's a lot going on. There's going to be, so we will continue to just let you know as we go. But thank you to the board and all the leaders that are helping to make this possible. One last thing before I go, the Living Well 65 Plus Resource Fair is April 22nd in this room. So there is a sign-up sheet for volunteer help on the back table there by Greg. So please stop by, see what the volunteer roles are. Please ask me if you have questions. They're very similar to last year, but we could use your help. So please sign up. Thanks. Yeah, probably put everybody. Yeah.
You guys, you saw the note, everybody brought their calculator. You saw the note at the event page for the financial. Everybody brought their calculator? Oh, okay. No, thank you. Please, sit down. Okay. I'm really sorry you had to sit through all that other stuff, because I know this is why everybody really came, is to see all about our financials. But so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But I do want to touch on a few points. We took in some money. We spent some money. We had a little bit left over. We're going to, since we had some left over, we're going to spend some next year. And we're going to take in some more next year. Any questions? So we'll talk a little bit about, is it too loud, too loud? Okay, is that better? We'll talk quieter. Okay. I mean, this stuff's going to put you to sleep. So, all right. So I'm going to use the fancy dancy sniper thing here. So let's talk about the income this year, this past year compared to the year before in 2024. All right. But you can see that from a dues standpoint, it was roughly stagnant. The part about grants, that's a little bit distorted because that 19,000 that we got in 2025 that represents a little bit of a drop from the prior year actually includes a few $1,000s specific to the resource fair. So you might have noticed in the news this past year or two that government funding and the money available in the public sector for federal programs, for state programs, for local programs, it's not what it was a few years ago. So it's a little bit of a moving target. Donations, spectacular. And there's a couple of very generous village members in our midst that facilitated us exceeding previous years by quite a bit there. The social event income was about stagnant. Sponsorships. Ginny referenced this, and Cassandra, it puts a lot of focus on this. You can see we almost doubled up on the amount of sponsorship money we took in, and we hope that continues to grow. And even fundraising. We did a lot better than we did in the previous year. And interestingly, you know, we've talked a little bit about Raise Right in some of the meetings, and that's not a giant piece of that. As a matter of fact, Raise Right was a little bit stagnant from 2024 to 2025. We take in about $1,000 a year via this Raise Right program. So there's room for improvement, but we made money at the craft fair, right? Bunko raised us a few $100s, as did everybody stuffing their face full of Felipe's pizza. The miscellaneous, nothing to be alarmed about there with the drop. It's a small piece of the puzzle. But the previous year, we sold T-shirts, fell into that category. And there was also a little bit of a surge because we got $1,000 in credit card points that we took delivery of in cash from previous credit card expenditures. So where do we spend our money? You can see year over year, payroll stays about the same. The care and wellness went down. We had a little bit less exercise classes, and I don't really have a good explanation for you as to why it went down as much as it did. Some other events in there that were care and wellness. Oh, we spent money the year before, and the Tara Coleman stuff, and let's see what we got here. Organization was roughly about the same. Our G&A expenses, social events was about the same. So not a whole lot different. As a matter of fact, look at the 1% difference in how much we spent year over year. But because of that generosity and the strong performance on the donation thing that we saw on the first slide, we went from losing around $7,000 to making about $7,000 in 2025. So where does that leave us? A lot of numbers here, but essentially, I don't know how many accounting-oriented people here, but this is our balance sheet. And this essentially tells us, what do we have? And we've got a lot. We don't owe a lot of money. These are our liabilities. And even this $1,800, that's simply payroll withholding, taxes from payroll withholding that we took it when we pay payroll, but we haven't sent the checks to the government yet. So from month to month, there's always a little bit of that. So we really don't owe anything. We pay our bills as soon as we get them. So all of our assets are real assets. And you can see here, we closed the year in 2024 with about $42,000 in cash. And we closed the year in 2025 with a $10,000 more in cash. All right. Little bit of a different mix because some was in CDs, less in CDs, more in flat out cash. And this is largely because of those donations that I talked about. But this is the most significant number right here, is that we have an investment portfolio. And out of that investment portfolio, we've designated $175,000 that we call earmarked for sustainability, that we tell ourselves at the board that money, we pretend like it's not available to us, like that's our sustainability fund for the future, our nest egg, so to speak. Oops. But on top of that, we've got this amount of money. And you can see those investments made $45,000 because we didn't draw out of that. We didn't put any more into it. That $45,000 in increase is strictly because of the earnings on the money that we have in a Vanguard investment fund. So we'll keep that number in mind, because it's important to the board on how we conduct ourselves, whether we worry about balance in a budget, because we make money on our investments. And as you can see, we have a pretty sizable nest egg. This other stuff down here is essentially accounting gibberish for a balance sheet to balance. That's what they call it. So what's 26 going to look like? Kenny alluded to it already. We increased your dues, as you know. So we expect that number to go up between increase in the cost per head, increase in the head count. We expect that to go up. Grant money, we're very optimistic here. But that everyone should keep their fingers crossed, because it's very uncertain how much of that we're actually going to realize. But the good news is it's a more diversified approach to actually obtaining grants than we've ever had in the past. The previous year, we've gotten 2 years ago, we got 2 grants. Last year, we got 3 grants. And this, we're submitting quite a bit of grant. Cassandra typically sniffs them out. Denise has been a big help in putting together the actual application packages, right? I'm sorry? Oh, okay. But the rest of our income, we'd love to continue to experience the generosity of our membership with the donations that we had in 2025, but we're being more conservative with what we're expecting for 2026. The rest of it, not consequential. You can see we're continue to be more optimistic when it comes to sponsorships. We want to we're counting on Cassandra to bring more sponsors to the table. So we are expecting, even with this number conservatively being down, our expectations being down, we are hoping for a small increase in revenue. Now, the expenses for 2026. This membership services, the member services initiative, the board has put our heads together, and we expect to spend some money to try to put this thing together. And we've been telling you that for quite some time now. several references to it leading up to it. Here are the actual dollars and cents of it. So our payroll went up considerably, and that's in the form of an additional person and an upgrade to Cassandra's position. Social events will remain about the same. Organizational expenses went up slightly. Care and wellness will remain about the same. Let's see what else. Everything else is pretty much the same, except till we get down to this miscellaneous. We talked about Helpful Village. There's going to be some upfront expense to make that migration from Club Express, our old software package, to Helpful Village, our new software package. And but the good news is, once again, we've got some very generous members that of the 5,000 or so upfront cost that we expect to take on for the pleasure of transitioning to this new software. We've got donations from our very own board members to cover a very good chunk of that. And we've isolated some grants that are specific to software upgrades for nonprofit organizations. So the truth is, we may actually make money on this transition. So we roll it all together. It's not great news. That's what we expect to be upside down by if all this comes true this year. And this is the revenue that we have to work with. But I'll remind you that we're well over $40,000 to the good with our investment earnings. So we're going to go full bore into this member services development. And with your help in the form of increased dues and your very generous donations every year, we expect to pull this off. So there you have it. So any questions on financials? Gunnar? I hope you're rehearsing for the board meeting when we ask ourselves that, because quite honestly, it's an arbitrary number. It was born out of essentially an endowment a few years ago that predates me, but many of us were around and involved in the village leadership at the time. But there was a legacy gift essentially from a former member, a former village leader, that was the original nest egg that parlayed into that $175,000 and Vanguard reserved. And that legacy gift had some conditions on it that apparently were defined as it's for village sustainability for the future, to make sure that we stay around, that Tierra Santa Village of San Diego stays around, and that we stay in business, so to speak. So the 175,000, you want to elaborate on it?
Everything Mark has said is 100% correct. My understanding of your question is, why didn't the 175 grow in 2025? Well, when I was the president, we selected $175,000 as the amount we were going to call our endowment. We were going to protect it. We were not going to spend it unless we all agreed that there was some significant need that was important to our sustainability. And we decided that that would be the number we would reserve ongoing year to year, and any growth that we earn on that money would appear in the top item above. Okay, so that will always show as 175,000. Did I get your question right? Of course. Correct. But for nonprofit accounting, it's important to identify your restricted endowments as a separate number.
And to punctuate that, the only place that number exists is right there. Yeah, on our balance sheet. There's nothing, if you had access to our portfolio and all the documentation and the paperwork at Vanguard, Vanguard doesn't recognize this division between reserve funds and available funds. So we have a portfolio with them that's in excess of $300,000 that it earns, and I should point out that 175 continues to earn, as well as the 148,000. So really, we have $325,000 working for us. That's why we enjoy. Everyone in this room probably has an investment portfolio and enjoyed a pretty good year in 2025. So did the village. Yes. No. Now I'll try to clarify the point I was just trying to make. That 45,000, that increase from 103 to 148, so $45,000. Those were the earnings on 103,000 plus 175,000. That was the point I was trying to make, and apparently didn't make it clearly enough. So the total of those two numbers is what's working for us from an earnings standpoint. Yeah, sorry. She was looking for clarification on what is the base that earned us $45,000. She suggested that was an incredible return on 103,000, and I clarified that we didn't earn the 45 on 103,000. We earned the 45 on 103,000 plus 175,000. So I have my shoes and socks on, but 45,000 on 275 is about a 18% return. Anything else? All right, what we're going to do is turn this over to, I'm going to invite Ginny back up here to moderate any questions you might have on any of the content of this meeting, or for that matter, anything to do with the village.
We are so fortunate to have on the board Ken and Mark, who know a lot about finance and can answer all of our questions. That's not me, that's them. Thank you. All right, this is just a time for anyone to ask any questions about the village or anything you want to know. Ooh. Okay. This is the time. All right. You know that you have any questions throughout the year, you can always ask us. Yes. You want to know the location of the exercise classes? Okay. The location of the exercises. Okay. So we had the Tuesday, Thursday exercise classes are held at the rec center between 9 and 10. And then we have chair yoga that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 11. And on Fridays, Mondays and Fridays, also a class from 9 to 10. So at the clubhouse. Those are at the clubhouse. And then we have a Wednesday stretch and balance class at 9 o'clock, and that's at the clubhouse. Oh, okay. Good suggestion to have it written somewhere. Written somewhere where the classes are. On the calendar, yeah, if you look on the calendar. Okay, if you click on the event. Oh, okay. Well, we'll double. Sometimes if you don't log in yourself, it's not going to show everything in the calendar. Okay, connect with Cassandra and we'll look into that. That's a good suggestion if it's not there, but I think it might be on the calendar. Any other questions? All right, I'm going to invite our, Patty Mudd is over at the side table when we dismantle here and get ready for our light dinner. Be sure and go see Patty about the St. Patrick's potluck because we've reserved the Terrasanta Lutheran Church, the large room for that potluck. And we want to make sure we have a good crowd that can show up. It's really a nice activity. Okay, I'm going to invite our village vocals up here. Yahoo! Just a minute.
Well, it's always a pleasure for the village vocals to announce the birthdays and to sing happy birthday. So the birthdays for the month of March are Mary Jane Quirin on the 2nd, Claire Hoffman on the 4th, and then we have birthday twins on the 5th. We have Diane Madrusky and Kathy Farrington. There's Kathy. Okay. And then on the 20th, we have Jim Batterson. On the 24th, Ann Lasden. I thought I saw Ann here somewhere. Okay. And on the 25th, Georgia Sparkman. She's over at the table there with Patty. On the 26th, Carol Link and that's an anniversary. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, Georgia Sparkman is on the 26th. And then the 28th is Art Wilson. And then we have quadruples. We have 4 of our members that were born on March 30th. Claire Blum, Jane Mealy, Lori Brown, and Mark. Mark, did you know you're a quadruple? Okay. And Joyce Munoz, I thought I saw Joyce here, is the 31st. Okay, then we have 2 anniversaries this month. We have Jim and Jenny Batterson on the 22nd, and Carol and HT Link, who are here. Where did I see them? There they are, on the 26th. So we're going to sing happy birthday, and please join in.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear villagers. Happy birthday to you.
And now we're going to sing a little song about how much we all appreciate the village. And this is a parody on the song from Oklahoma. And it was written by one of our village vocals, but she wishes to remain anonymous. And this is a parody.
Village helps us stage with verve and grace. Try activities or just shoot the breeze as we live life at a different pace. Tierra Santa Village, gentle exercise and trips. In our neighborhoods, we're feeling good and we're learning lots of helpful tips. We're on the right track in a village, and together we're stronger and true. So when we say hooray and yippee-yay, we're really saying we're grateful for our strong village. Tierra Santa, okay, we'll shout it. TVSD, hooray!
Okay, I want to tell you what we have for our light dinner and how it's going to go. One thing is that those of you that are sitting in folding chairs, we need to have moved to the tables so that they're seating at the tables. We had to move all the chairs over. We have roast beef. We have wraps. They're not sandwiches. They're wraps. We have roast beef and we have chicken. There's a couple of vegetarian if anybody wants that. We have fruit salad and potato salad and pickles and cookies. So we're going to have 2 lines, but let's wait a minute. They're just finishing setting it up, but you're welcome to go sign up for St. Patrick's Potluck. I need the board members to gather over here for a minute. I need your attention. And then, so just go ahead and stand up, and when it looks like they're ready, grab a plate and find a seat.